With respect to Jerome Powell, I would say that we were all outraged, that is, those who favor Trump, by the speech that was given by Jerome Powell last week. It was really, I've been following this for 40 years. I thought it was the most outrageous partisan attack against a new president that I've ever seen. And I think it was out of bounds, and it didn't take into account all the positive things that Trump are doing on the economy. Now, that being said, and people like myself were saying, Jerome Powell has to go, but the markets clearly don't want Jerome Powell out. They don't want him out right now. And
Stephen, I just want to be clear. Jerome Powell was reflecting what a lot of just economists are saying. So if what you're looking for is just straight shooting from Jerome Powell, that really did seem to be what it was. Separately, I want to ask you about the Treasury Secretary Bessent saying.
Hold on. Let me push you back. Hold on. Let me make a point about this. Okay, that's a fair point. A lot of the economists and a lot of the businesses were saying, these policies were harmful. But my God, I mean, Joe Biden came in and spent $5 trillion, sent inflation up to 25% increase in prices. Jerome Powell never made that kind of speech against in fact, he accommodated Biden's policies. So I think that's something that really angered us. I mean, I challenge you to find anything that Jerome Powell ever said criticizing Biden's reckless policies.
I think you heard certainly concerns about inflation, and you saw reflections on decisions that were made about interest rates when it came to inflation. Mm-hmm. We certainly saw that, yes, right? We certainly saw that. But I want, Stephen, I want to get this question in, and we're going to have to wrap it up if we can't get past it.
Jerome Powell was the one who allowed the inflation to go up by 9% in 2022, which was the highest rate of inflation we've had in 30 years. And so it's hard to defend what he did back then, in my opinion.
Hey, Bull Runners, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here today. Stop what you're doing and listen up, because the crypto world is shifting right now, and you don't want to be the one that's left behind. Imagine this. The markets are buzzing, new opportunities are dropping, and the rules of the game are changing faster than ever. But here's the problem. Most people are stuck chasing old news, missing the moves that could set them up for the next big wave. The good news, we've got you covered. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the hottest crypto headlines that could shake your portfolio in 2025. From XRP's massive new move to Bitcoin's shrinking supply and a game-changing shift at the Federal Reserve, these stories aren't just news, they're signals of where money's flowing. So stick with me, because we're breaking it all down for you in simple terms to keep you ahead of the curve. And here's the kicker. Stick with us until the end, and you're going to get an exclusive sneak peek at our free ebook packed with altcoin secrets that could supercharge your strategy. Plus, we will be jumping over to X to find out all of the important financial news today. We'll be jumping over into Forex Factory to look at the traditional finance news. We'll do some technical analysis on XRP, looking for the next resistance and support levels. And we'll take a look at the short-term, long-term momentum waves as well. And so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the news like we do for you here on this channel and bring it to you in a condensed manner, make sure you subscribe today. And if you're feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. And let's go ahead and head over to Coin Market Cap, and we'll start the video off looking at the overall health of the crypto market today. Currently 2.94 trillion for the total crypto market cap. It's up 0.41%. So nothing major today. In fact, total volume, only $92 billion worth of crypto traded today. You can see we have recently surged up to a new high, which is very, very important. Our most recent level we really needed to break was this March 26, 2025 of 2.88 trillion. We are now officially over that, which is fantastic. And we can zoom out on the yearly. As you can see, we were having consistent lower highs on the way down. It looks like we may have a bottom here. As of April 8th, we were trading all the way at $2.42 trillion, and we've now made this move up, breaking above this level right here, which was the previous high that we had to break, changing market structure. Now we really need to see that surge back up to at least $3 trillion market cap. Fear and greed coming in at 52, really taking a surge from this most recent low. All the way back on April 8th, we were all the way down at 15. Now we're trading in the neutral zone at 52. Most of this is driven by the super surge of Bitcoin, but we are still waiting for an altcoin season. We're only at 16 out of 100 for altcoin season index. So it is still considered Bitcoin season. Altcoins will start to follow behind. We'll continue tracking that. And the best way to track that is looking at Bitcoin dominance, which is coming in at 63.4%. It is up 2.89%. And as always, Bitcoin is the market leader, so it's not a negative thing to see Bitcoin surging. We just want the alts to follow along. Speaking of Bitcoin surging, take a look at the ETF tracker. This thing is really starting to move to the upside. So far for the April 28th report, already over $107 million worth of volume. But the day before, on April 22nd, $917 million. And also on the 21st, $912 million. So an absolute market surge for crypto ETFs, Bitcoin specifically. Over $2.3 billion have been fed into the ecosystem of Bitcoin through the ETF market. Today's top 5 trending coins, according to CoinMarketCap, we got Sui number 1, ADA number 2, Ondo number 3, Polygon number 4, and Init number 5. Top 5 cryptos by total market cap. We have Bitcoin coming in $93,000, 1.8 trillion, Ethereum at 213 billion, number 2, Tether number 3, 146 billion, XRP at number 4, 128 billion, BNB at number 5 at 84 billion, and Solana number 6, 79 billion. Taking a look at the traditional finance news calendar, and as we can see, today was a very important day. Unemployment came out, but it was flat. So we didn't beat, we didn't lose. So the forecast was 222,000 jobs for unemployment claims. 222,000 unemployment claims is what it came in at. So no positive, no negative news. However, there was a very nice rebound in the traditional markets today. Jumping forward to next week, we have a lot of massive news that can create some extreme volatility, starting on Tuesday with the JOLTS job openings, on Wednesday, non-farm employment, GDP numbers, employment cost index, core PCE. Next Thursday, we'll also have unemployment claims again. They're forecasted at another 222,000. And then next week, at the end of the week, some of the major important news is the non-farm employment change and the unemployment rate. So we'll keep you updated on all of this information next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Jumping over to X, check a look at this. So watch, Bitcoin core developer James O.B. says that without more fee revenue, Bitcoin's monetary policy and property rights can erode. 2 halvings from now, you're going to have a drastically reduced subsidy.
I think it's a huge issue because the fundamental, the thing that should, make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, if someone mentions in the context of Bitcoin, is somehow undermining the property rights. It's, introducing a tail emission, changing the supply schedule. Those things totally undermine the premise of Bitcoin. But if you get into this situation where the subsidy's going away and, fee rates aren't high and maybe the price is in a similar place, it starts to get very uncomfortable. And the amount of time that we have to resolve that question is not much, in the sense that 2 halvings from now, you're gonna have a pretty drastically reduced subsidy. That's 7.5 years away. Think about, how quickly the last 7 years went, 2018 to here. It's like, it doesn't feel like all that much happened. So I do think it's a question people have to start grappling with.
Interesting take there from James O.B. Also, huge news. Polymarket users predict a 52% chance that the Fed will finally decrease rates. This is what we're talking about. As I was saying, and I've been saying now for weeks, there's a civil war brewing between the Federal Reserve and Donald Trump and the actual policy making for monetary policy in the United States with the Federal Reserve. There's been a lot of evidence coming out that Jerome Powell absolutely hates Trump, doesn't want him to have any success. That's why he's holding up these rate reductions. But as we can see right here, Polymarket says 25% chance that it is going, or 52% chance that it is going to be reduced by either 25 or 50 basis points in June. Just in, China says all unilateral tariffs must be removed by the U.S. for talks to move forward. On a positive crypto note from the Federal Reserve, they have withdrawn the crypto activity reporting requirements for banks. So before, banks had gotten some clarity and they got some leeway that they could start using crypto. However, they had to check in with the Federal Reserve and be like, hey, we're going to start doing some transactions with crypto. And then they could basically tell them, no, don't do that still, right? Now that is all gone. You don't have to do any of that reporting And this was a great video Benjamin Cohen put out, Bitcoin Social Risk, Why Retail Never Returned. And this is what I've been telling all of you about, right? Right now, retail traders are not moving the market at all. There's no money for the retail traders. They can't afford their house. They can't afford their cars. They can't afford their credit cards. So prices are not going to absolutely moonshot right now, because if an institution moves all of crypto to new all-time highs, they want retail to be able to buy their bags. Well, right now, retail doesn't give a crap about crypto. So in this video, he goes through and he talks about how right now the YouTube subscribers, viewers, Twitter analysts, Twitter exchanges, Twitter layer one companies actually putting posts, that is all down. Also, the people interacting with these are all down compared to where it has been in the past. And that's this pink line right here. As that increases, that is the social engagement, very similar to using the Google search trending. If Bitcoin reaches 100, it's the top, which actually ended up corresponding very, very closely with this last previous local high. But it's interesting. I'll go ahead and repost this on the channel. Make sure you go take a look at that over on myx.com. But breaking, the SEC's job is to protect investors, not stifle innovation. Crypto and XRP, love this man. So Paul Atkins is coming in and he's trying to work with the crypto world. And as you guys know, the new company 21 Capital came out with Jack Mallers, and Michael Saylor is pretty excited about this. The great thing is Saylor gets these employees, founders at 21 Capital, working for him for free because they're doing the same exact thing that is going on at MicroStrategy. And John Deaton, he chimed in on this too. I saw a few comments that Saylor must not be happy about 21 Capital. I agree with Max Kaiser here. Saylor must be smiling ear to ear with his 500,000 plus Bitcoin and thinking, let's see if you can catch up, boys. And we do know that the idea for 21 Capital is to buy 42,000 Bitcoin. So that will definitely be taking up a significant amount of coins. And speaking of a significant amount of coins, Bitcoin supply on exchanges is falling due to public company purchases. Bitcoin supply currently on exchanges is dropping to levels that we have not seen since 2018. According to Fidelity Digital Assets, why is that though? Well, public companies are scooping up over 30,000 Bitcoin a month since the United States election. Less Bitcoin on exchanges means less available for trading, which can drive prices up when demand spikes. This is a bullish signal for Bitcoin's value, especially if institutional buying keeps up. For you as an investor, it's a reminder, Bitcoin scarcity is real and holding long-term could pay off. But don't sleep on it. Low supply can always mean bigger price swings as well. And as we know, with the price swings and the availability of Bitcoin, what's interesting, we've seen now multiple times MicroStrategy going in and buying thousands and thousands of Bitcoin, billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and the price not moving. Well, those people are buying behind the scenes. Those are over-the-counter exchanges. But some of these other companies that are not buying that large of a piece, they do actually have to go in and buy it from exchanges. And even if they are buying it from exchanges, sometimes they can get an over-the-counter deal behind the scenes as well. But regardless, these exchanges are starting to really run low on the supply of Bitcoin, saying 2.6 million Bitcoin on exchanges, lowest level since November of 2018. Over 425,000 Bitcoin moved off of exchanges since November 4th. And that's that metric we always talk about, net X flow, outflow. When we're talking about XRP a lot, we cover that metric. We also do cover that with Bitcoin. Public companies have added nearly 350,000 Bitcoin post-election. So public companies have bought over 30,000 Bitcoin per month so far in 2025. Outside of the United States, publicly traded companies in Asia have adopted a similar Bitcoin strategy. Metaplanet in Japan, Hong Kong's HK Holdings, increasing their allocations as well. So right now, Bitcoin may not be surging like you want, but the moves are coming. And remember, this is a long-term game. Some of you guys may be day traders. And if you are one of those day traders, head down to the link below. We have partnered up with Blowfin. You can get a 10% bonus with signing up. All you have to do is click the link down below and get started with Blowfin today. The exciting part is you do also help support the channel with that So we're very excited about this partnership with Blowfin because I know a lot of you guys out there are day traders, not just long-term bag holders. So go check out Blowfin down in the description below. But for those of you that are long-term bag holders, get ready for a super run to the upside. You know, you keep on hearing analysts talking 200,000, 300,000, $1 million per Bitcoin in the coming years. Very exciting if you're a long-term holder. As we spoke about a couple of minutes ago, Federal Reserve withdraws crypto unfriendly banking guidance. The Fed has rescinded the supervisory letter from 2022 that called for notification in advance of planned ongoing crypto asset activities. And here we have it from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. This is now withdrawn. Certain types of crypto assets, such as stablecoins, if adopted at large scale, could also pose risks to financial stability, including potentially through destabilizing runs and disruptions in the payment system. Fed also withdraws statement warning banks of crypto fraudsters. Michael Saylor tweeting in, banks are now free to begin supporting Bitcoin. And huge news for XRP, Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group to launch XRP futures. As you know, they were just launched on Coinbase, now getting launched with the CME Group, which is absolutely massive. CME Group is one of the largest derivatives exchange in the United States, is launching XRP futures on May 19th, pending approval, of course. And this includes standards contracts of 50,000 XRP and micro contracts of 2,500 XRP, both cash settled and tied to the CME CF XRP dollar reference. Why does this matter? Well, futures bring in big players like hedge funds and institutions, which could boost XRP's liquidity and price stability. More institutional interest means more credibility and adoption, which is huge for XRP's long-term growth. But with their flip side there, some traders on X are cautious, pointing out the overbought signals on recent price dips. So keep an eye on this one. It could be a huge game changer for the XRP community. And jumping over to the charts for XRP, as we've been talking about through our spider lines, which is the trend lines that are built from the drop of the 2018 high with the pivot point in the 2021 high, it gives us a line into the future when you use the Ray tool. And they have been extremely well pointed out support and resistance line. So as you can see right now, we did run into that $2.23 level right here with a nice spike to the upside, but unfortunately it has rejected again. So it rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times now. Looks like we may be coming back in to fill in. There is a nice order block right here on the daily here at $2.09, $2.04, which could act as our next support level. Our long-term momentum wave has some really good news. It has now broken above the zero line. Unfortunately, with these last couple of days right here, it just broke it and it's potentially coming back down. How far down will it go? Only time will tell. We haven't gotten a traditional break and continuation like we've been hoping for, like we did get back in early November where we really started the ramp to the upside. But in some good news, when we switch it over here to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has surged through and continued to push up nicely. Now, that's the long-term momentum wave there. It is showing some bullish structure right now for the long-term momentum wave. Our short-term momentum wave has kind of capped out at this point and is ready for a reset. Now, typically, when this is green and it has a reset down to zero, we won't see much price action to the downside, more of a consolidation over a couple of days. As we can see, when it was red below the zero line and we had a drop, then it was more severe because it's red on red. When we have green on red, it's not as severe. So I'm looking for something. Maybe we come down to the 10 exponential moving average here. It's currently sitting at about $90,000 as a support level, but we are looking much more bullish on the daily on Bitcoin. As for XRP, it is potentially going to poke through, but has not had a continuation to the candle. And we have now had 2 consecutive days to the downside. We have 21 hours and 31 minutes left in this candle. But what we are looking for, what needs to happen right now is we break above this $2.23-24 range. We can call it 225. And then we push up into the 250 range. So we need to push above 225, create this as a support, push up into 250, and then get this as a support. The exciting thing is our next move to the upside will be in the 283, 290, $3 range. As you can see, when price starts to get up to those levels, it gets a lot more interesting because there's a lot more data points that come in and show more resistance to the upside.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,